أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلله فلا هادي له. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له إنه تعالى جل عن الشبيه والمثيل والند والنظير. ثم نشهد أن سيدنا وسندنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وداعينا ومرشدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله صفيه وخليله صلى الله تبارك وتعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن إبراهيم كان أمة قانتا لله حنيفا ولم يكن من المشركين شاكرا لأنعمه اجتباه وهداه إلى صراط مستقيم وآتيناه في الدنيا حسنة وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين. ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا. صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, as always we begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending blessings upon the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Alhamdulillah, yesterday the moon was sighted in many different countries, and even in the US it was sighted in Texas and California, right? This is one of the times I think that the whole Muslim Ummah is probably celebrating Eid on the same day, alhamdulillah. But nonetheless, today marks the first of Dhul Hijjah, and inshallah Eid will be on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, which will be on Sunday, August 11th. Sunday, August 11th, we will have our Eid prayers here at the Masjid. And the reason why I bring this up is because, of course, the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are the most blessed and greatest days of the Islamic calendar. They are the greatest days of the Islamic calendar. There are many, many virtues that are mentioned in the ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And by the way, the Quran also talks about Dhul Hijjah, right? The Quran tells us that the Arabs at that time, during the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and before Islam, right? The Arabs at that time, what they would do is they would have 4 sacred months. They would be sacred and holy for them. And they would not have any war or any of these things in these months. And by the way, we should learn the Islamic calendar. We should learn what the Islamic months are. We should know them in order. We should know what day it is Islamically. For us, we should be in tune with our calendar, right? And so the Arabs would have 4 months: Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. And by the way, the meanings of these names they all have the same meaning, right? Dhul Qa'dah means the month of sitting, which you stay away from war. Dhul Hijjah, the month of Hajj. Muharram, something that's haram, it's haram to fight, right? And Rajab also means to hold back. These were months in which, and all of the months in Islam, by the way, have meaning to it, right? The names are based on different meanings, right? But nonetheless, the Arabs at that time, they would not fight for these months. And what they would do is, because they wanted to wage war on one tribe and another tribe wanted to wage war on another tribe, they would flip the months to their own needs. And we think of it as something very silly and something that we can't understand. But this is what they would do. They would switch the months. So sometimes, Muharram was at the beginning of the year, sometimes Muharram was at the end of the year, sometimes Muharram was in the middle of the year. And it became very confusing for many people. And it was just based on their own desires. They would change the order of the months whenever they wanted, right? Based on their own desire to complete war or to stop war. And so the Quran comes and it codified it. It said, the Quran tells us, إِنَّ عِدَّةَ الشُّهُورِ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ 12 شَهْرًا, right? The Quran says that the number of months is 12 according to the Islamic calendar, according to the calendar. And يَوْمَ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And today, based on this revelation, today is the day in which Allah ordained for this day to be, right? The day He created the earth in the sky, and He ordained that specific date for that day. It is that specific day, meaning that the Quran says that today we are on the right day, we are on the right date. And so from now on, there is no more changing days. There is no more, inaccuracy in the calendar. The calendar becomes perfect, right? Minha arba'atun hurum. Then the Quran says there are 4 months that are hurum. Comes from the same meaning of haram, sacred. They are sacred months, right? That we stay away from evil at that time. Right? The scholars say, by the way, that the more greater or more sacred a month is, the more mercy the month has, the greater the reward is. Also, the more severe the punishment is for a sin committed on those times. So these months tell us that we don't, not only do we increase in our worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also we decrease in our disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are times, these are months in which we focus on making ourselves better, removing those bad habits of ours and making ourselves better. But nonetheless, the Quran came and codified the date, right? The date is correct, right? And so from that time on, there is no more inaccuracy. And the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are the greatest days. There are many, many, many ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? Imam Bukhari rahimahullah, he mentions a hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas. He says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, there are no days more in which a deed is more beloved to Allah than the deed that is performed in the first 10 days of sacrifice. Meaning that the first 10 days of this month. And the Sahaba stood up, Ya Rasulullah, what about a person who goes out in the path of Allah, right? He goes and he does jihad fi sabilillah. The Prophet said, well, jihad fi sabilillah, right? And not even the person who goes out for jihad, goes out and to sacrifice his own life, even that person is not equal to, that deed is not more beloved than the deed that is done in the first 10 days of the Hijjah. But then the Prophet said, yes, there is an exception. And that is the one who sacrifices all of his wealth and his time, and he goes out in the path of Allah, and he doesn't come back. Meaning that he attains his shahada. That person can have a deed more beloved than than a deed that is done in the first 10 days. So what does this mean? It means that these are days, all of us here, we need to learn how to increase our servitude to Allah. We need to learn how to increase in our worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Be it small or minute, but we increase in it. Right? These are blessed days. These are sacred months. Arba'atun hurum. The Quran calls it a sacred month. A month of sanctity. A month in which there is immense blessing. Right? Where the good increases many, many, many fold. In another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, there are no deeds more beloved than the deeds done in the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. So an increase in 4 things. Increase in takbir, tahmeed, and tahleel, right? Increase in saying Allahu Akbar, increase in saying La ilaha illallah, increase in saying Alhamdulillah, right? Increase in your dhikr of Allah, increase in your remembrance of Allah. And the best in these, among scholars say, the best thing that you can do during the best dhikr, the best remembrance of Allah that you can do during these times is to say La ilaha illallah and Allahu Akbar, right? You'll hear this on the day of Eid, people will be doing the takbirat. These are days in which the blessing, the greatness of Allah is set all over the world, right? These are days where people are in ihram and they're going and they're saying labbaik, in front of the Kaaba, right? Here I am, Allah, in your service, right? Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. These are times where we proclaim the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After salah, toward the end of these days, right, we say them out loud in after our prayers. And during the Eid prayer, we have extra takbirat. Right? These are days in which we announce the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Let's try to get into the habit of that, right? So try to increase in your tahleel, increase in your la ilaha illallah, increase in your dhikr of saying Allahu Akbar. It's very easy to do, right? By the way, scholars say dhikr is the easiest thing that we can do, right? You don't need to have wudu, you don't need to be sitting in a certain posture, right? Like sajda or ruku or standing. It could be while you're sitting, laying down, wearing sleeping clothes, wearing professional clothes. It's while you have wudu or you don't have wudu, right? It could be in any state. It's very simple to do, right? It doesn't have to be out loud. It can be silently whispering. You can do the dhikr. So let's get into this habit of doing the dhikr of Allah and doing the tahleel, saying La ilaha illallah and Allahu Akbar. And of course, another hadith the Prophet says that whoever fasts in the first 10 days of the Hijjah, he will get the reward of fasting for 1 year for each day. So let's get into the habit of making a fast as well. And like I mentioned, let's learn these Islamic months. We should know these Islamic months. We should know the order of them, right? There's a song that my children sing. You can find it on YouTube, right? But we should learn the order of the songs, and we should the order of the months. We should learn them, and we should know what the meaning of these months are. Inshallah, some other time when we talk about the calendar, we can mention more details. But nonetheless, in the rest of today's khutbah, I want to mention about Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is the season of Hajj, right? This is the season in which you will see many of our friends are going for Hajj. Maybe this week or within the next 3 or 4 days, they'll be going for Hajj. And this is Ibrahim alayhi. This is a time where many imams and many scholars will speak about Ibrahim alayhi salam. And what does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell us about Ibrahim alayhi salam? Allah tells us in Surah Al-Nahl, Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan. Right? Indeed, Ibrahim ﷺ was a nation. He was an ummah by itself. And scholars differ. What does this mean? Right? Some scholars say it means that he was by himself. He didn't have an ummah. It was just him and his family who worshipped Allah. He didn't have many people following him, right? Or accepting, listening to him. It was him, his family, his nephew, Prophet Dhul ﷺ, and his children. It was only a few people. So his faith was, and another thing scholars say is that his faith was so strong, it resembled a nation's faith, right? And on the day of judgment, when people come, all the prophets will come and stand before Allah, right? Their communities will gather together, their ummahs will gather together. The Prophet ﷺ tells us in a hadith that I had a vision, right? And in that vision, it was the day of judgment, and every prophet, their followers were gathered behind them. And so, I saw some prophets that had very few. Maybe 1 or 2, some prophets that had maybe 10, 15, some prophets that had 0 followers. Ibrahim a.s. is going to be a person who only his family is going to be with him, right? Because he was an ummah by himself, right? And then the Prophet says, then I looked to one side and I saw a large gathering. Sawadun alim. I saw a large gathering. And I thought it was so long I couldn't see the ends of it. Meaning that if I looked one way and the other way, I couldn't see the end. That's how large the gathering was. And I thought to myself, this must be my ummah. And then I asked the angel. The angel told me, no, this is the ummah of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. And then I turned the other way, and I saw that there was even a larger gathering. And then I was told that was my gathering. Right? We have the blessing to be amongst the followers of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the largest ummah. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. The Quran tells us that we are the best ummah. Right? We have the best blessings that Allah has given us. Allah has favored us more than any other ummah. He has favored, the blessings that we have received of being the followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam are so tremendous compared to any other being a follower of any other prophet. Right? We'll talk about them. But kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. The Quran tells us we are the best ummah. Right? We have the most reward and the easiest lifestyle. For us, right? The Prophet ﷺ says, previous prophets, they had to pray in only masjid. They couldn't go anywhere else. وَجُعِلَتْ لِيَ الْأَرْضُ مَسْجِدًا وَطَهُورًا. The Prophet says, as for my ummah, you can pray anywhere you want in the world. As long as that place is clean, you can pray anywhere you want. You want to pray at home, your salah will count. Right? If we had to pray every single salah in the masjid and every single salah was packed like this, life would become difficult for us, right? Work would be difficult. But the Prophet says, our ummah is the one that has the most blessings and the least amount of work that we have to put in. Other prophets said about Musa alayhi salam's sharia that if some clothes became dirty, You had to throw them away. You couldn't wash them and wear them again. For us, we can wash them and wear them again. This is a blessing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has favored upon us by being the followers of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And so, Inna Ibrahim kana ummatan. He was a nation by itself. Qanitan lillah. Right? He was content with whatever Allah gave him. He was happy and he accepted whatever Allah decreed for him. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. And he was not قَانِتًا لِلَّهِ حَنِيفًا. He was Hanif, right? He worshipped only one Allah. He never associated partners with Allah. وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. He never committed shirk. And then Allah says, شَاكِرًا لِأَنْعُمِهِ. شَاكِرًا لِأَنْعُمِهِ. These are just qualities we should have. This is a khutbah by itself. Each of these qualities is a khutbah by itself. What does it mean to be happy and content with the decree of Allah? Right? Shakiran li'an'amihi. He was always grateful for the blessings that Allah had given him. He had so much and he was always thankful for that. Right? These are reasons why Ibrahim a.s. was the most amazing individual. Right? The Quran talks about him in the most amazing ways. Right? The Quran praises Ibrahim a.s. because of these qualities. That he was always content. He was happy with whatever Allah gave for him. Whatever Allah assigned for him, he was happy. He never complained. Rather, he was thankful to Allah for whatever he had and whatever Allah had given him. These are qualities we need to uphold, right? These are lessons that we learn from Ibrahim a.s.'s life. And then the Quran says, اجتباه. Allah chose him. وهداه إلى صراط مستقيم. And then the Quran addresses us, ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا. Right? We have revealed to you that you should also follow the ways of Ibrahim a.s. Right? Allah loved his ways so much that it became part of our faith. Right? This is why the Hajj and the rituals of Hajj, right? What are we doing? We are following the ways of Ibrahim alayhi salam. ثُمَّ أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ أَنِ اتَّبِعْ. Right? We reveal to you that you follow the way, the way of Ibrahim alayhi salam. مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ حَنِيفًا وَلَمْ يَكُنْ مِنَ الْمُشْرِكِينَ. The Quran says, وَآتَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنًا وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. Right? We gave him good in this world, and we made him amongst the best in the hereafter as well. وَآتَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنًا. Right? This is two qualities, two promises Allah gives us for following the qualities of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right? Learn the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Learn his life. Study his life. Try to uphold the values that the Quran talks about when it talks about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Right? وَآتَيْنَاهُ فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنًا. Allah says we gave him many in this world. If you want to be successful in this world, وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. And we gave him the most in the hereafter. Right? So if you want to be successful in this world and in the hereafter, Allah gives us a recipe right there. And what was the one quality of Ibrahim alayhi salam that was the most beloved to Allah? فَلَمَّا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ. It was his willingness to always sacrifice himself for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From a very early age, he sacrificed his family. Right? He told his family he doesn't believe in the gods that they create. His family, basically, abolished him. They kicked him out. And he sacrificed his town. And then he was thrown into the fire. He was willing to sacrifice his life. Right? Jibreel comes to him and he says, "What can I do for you, O Ibrahim?" And what does Ibrahim say? He says, "Amma minka fala shay." As for you, there's nothing you can do for me, Jibreel. I don't need your help. From Allah, hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. As for Allah, He's enough for me and He will take care of me. I don't need to ask Him for anything. Right? Allah will take care of him. This is the dua that he made. This dua is also mentioned in the Quran. We should learn this dua. Hasbi Allahu wa ni'mal wakeel. This was the sacrifice of Ibrahim himself. He sacrifices his family. He sacrifices his people. He's willing to sacrifice that relationship that he had with them. He's willing to sacrifice his life. And when he gets older, of course, he has to sacrifice his own child. And he's willing to do that. Right? He comes to his child, Inni ara fil manam, Inni azbahuk. Right? Oh my son, I saw a dream. I'm sacrificing you. Tell me, what should I do? And the son he was a good boy, right? The Quran says, we gave him a good child who was respectful of him, right? Who understood him, who understood his purpose. And so his son says, this is a command of Allah, do as you have been commanded. Right? Whenever a prophet has a dream, that is revelation, you must do it. And so the Quran says, this was a sacrifice of Ibrahim a.s. He sacrificed everything. He was willing to sacrifice his life and also his children. Right? People who have those who are parents and have kids, the sacrifice of children is very difficult. You see your child get a cut or a fever. You feel pain. It hurts you. Right? You see your child become sad. It pains you. Right? There is no greater love that a parent has for a child. right? That is the ultimate love, or our ultimate bond between two people. فَلَمَا أَسْلَمَا وَتَلَّهُ لِلْجَبِينِ. My question for you today is, ask yourselves this, right? Allah gave you the best blessing in the world. Allah gave you iman. At the end of the day, all of us here, regardless of what status we have, how much money we have, at the end of the day, inshallah, we are going to go to the highest levels of Jannah. We are going to go into Jannah, into the levels of Jannah. Right? We have the greatest blessing. But what are we going to sacrifice for that blessing? Allah wants us to sacrifice something. He doesn't want our life, right? He doesn't want 90% of our wealth. No. What does He want us to sacrifice? He wants you to sacrifice 10 minutes of sleep in the morning, so you wake up, you do your wudu, and you pray your fajr, and then you can go back to sleep. He wants you to sacrifice 10 minutes of your time, so you can, instead of watching the news or watching something on YouTube, right, or just laying around wasting your time, open the Quran and read the Quran 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. Right? Allah doesn't want our sacrifice like the sacrifice of Ibrahim a.s. But what I want you to do is, I want you to ask yourself, every time you make a sacrifice, ask yourself this question, is it, Ibrahim a.s. had to sacrifice so much, right? All Allah asks for me is this amount. Of course I can sacrifice it. It's so easy to give that $20 or $40 or $100 in charity when you think like this, when you have the right mindset. Right? Ask yourselves the times of charity. Ibrahim a.s. had to sacrifice all of his wealth. He had to sacrifice everything. He had to leave his house and go to a different city many times. All Allah wants for me is to give a little bit of charity for my wealth, right? For the poor. All Allah wants me to do is wake up for 10 minutes, right? I had the whole night of sleep. What Allah wants for me is to sacrifice that 10 minutes. Pray my fajr on time, and then go back to sleep. Right? Make my wudu, pray my fajr, go back to sleep. Allah wants me to sacrifice 10 minutes a day so I can read my Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants me to sacrifice time so I can do the dhikr of Allah and give in charity. And of course, Allah wants me to sacrifice a little bit, like, stay away from haram, which is very, very easy to do when you look at the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam. This is what we need to understand. When we look at the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam, we need to think to ourselves that what Ibrahim alayhi salam did was tremendous. Allah doesn't ask me for that. He's asking me for so little. Why can't I do that? Right? All of our ibadah becomes easy to do. All of our ibadah becomes easy to do. When you love someone and you want to sacrifice for them, the sacrifice becomes easy. And so when you think in that terms, everything becomes easy. This is the one lesson that we can learn from Ibrahim a.s. Let's adopt his quality of sacrifice. Right? Let's learn to give up some things of ours from our very, very easy, luxurious lifestyles that we have, right? Where we can give up 10 minutes a day for prayers. We can give up 10-15 minutes a day for Quran and for dua. Let's get into the habit of doing all of these things. These are the most blessed days of the year. Right? Today is the first of Dhul Hijjah. Let's make sure we teach our kids as well. Right? We sit down with them, read Quran for them, with them for 5-10 minutes. Right? We read a story to them. Or if we can, and it doesn't, it's not difficult for us, we fast all of these days. Each day that we fast, we get 1 year of reward according to the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow all of us to understand the sacrifice of Ibrahim alayhi salam, and allow us to also be people who are willing to sacrifice for the sake of Allah, so our iman is earned and we have the highest levels of Jannah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين. نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من صلى علي واحدة صلى الله عليه بها 10. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. عباد الله رحمكم الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.
Assalamu alaikum. A few announcements regarding Eid. As Imam Anas said, Eid will be on Sunday, the 11th. We will have our tasabih here at 7:45 in the morning with salat precisely at 8:30. So please come early so you can find parking. Also on the day of Eid, we will have refreshments after salah and then a community dinner in the evening. Please join us because this is a dinner that's organized and hosted by the Islamic Organization of Southern Tier for the benefit of the community. Finally, those visiting the cemetery on Eid Day, please park inside the cemetery. We're going to have the doors open so that you don't block the traffic on Main Street. Assalamu alaikum.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله استقيموا واعتدلوا الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين إن إبراهيم كان أمة قانتا لله حنيفا ولم يك من المشركين شاكرا لأنعمه اجتباه وهداه إلى صراط مستقيم وآتيناه في الدنيا حسنة وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين ثم أوحينا إليك أن اتبع ملة إبراهيم حنيفا ولم يك من المشركين الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين فلما بلغ معه السعي قال يا بني إني أرى في المنام أني أذبحك فانظر ماذا ترى قال يا أبت افعل ما تؤمر ستجدني إن شاء الله من الصابرين فلما أسلما وتله للجبين وناديناه أن يا إبراهيم قد صدقت الرؤيا إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إن هذا لهو البلاء المبين وفديناه بذبح عظيم الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله الله أكبر الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.